Welcome back. It's Monday and time for Law 101. I'm Rob Levine from Rob Levine and Associates. So I thought I would do a follow-up today on the Paycheck Protection Program, as today the loan forgiveness document from the SBA came out. So, reviewed the SBA loan forgiveness program, the document, the schedule, and the application, and it pretty much follows the exact same rules that we looked at originally that have come along all along. So the first thing I think we should address is whether or not you're concerned about your certification for saying that you made a good faith borrowing basis, saying that you were in need of the funds because of the coronavirus. So there's been lots of talk about it. So they created an amnesty program, which was May 14th, which has now been extended to today, May 18th. However, the most important thing that you know is that they came out last week and said that anyone who borrowed less than $2 million under the PPP program is absolutely given amnesty. You have a safe harbor provision, which says if you signed the application and made your good faith certificate, that was all they required, and there was going to be no reason to look into your application to decide whether or not you had a good faith basis for borrowing. If you're in excess of $2 million, they said it's more than likely that you will get audited, so expect an audit, and they will look at whether or not you made a good faith basis for borrowing. So that Corona should have affected your business in that it reduced your level of income, either reduced your employees or created your need for borrowing. The whole concept of what they're talking about of whether or not you had the liquidity to borrow elsewhere, in my opinion, was a scare tactic for most borrowers to give back the funds if they committed fraud. Clearly, most people don't have liquidity to borrow the money that they could have got under the PPP program. As well as the PPP program gave you a 1% interest loan, you could never have borrowed that kind of money from a bank at that level of interest. So unless you committed fraud, I think you're pretty safe under the certification that you made. And remember, if it's under $2 million, you have a safe harbor provision. So take us to the loan application. First of all, if you laid off employees and you don't plan on hiring them back to meet your FTEs, your full-time eligible people, you don't have to bring them back until June 30th. The application states that. So don't apply for loan forgiveness until after June 30th. That way you've brought back your headcount to reach your FTEs. So what's important? So the money that you spent, 75% of it has to have been used for compensation. Compensation is wages, health, life, and pension. So as long as you used at least 75% of the funds towards compensation, remembering that you can't pay anyone greater than $100,000, which is approximately $15,283 for the 8-week period, roughly. So 100,000 divided by 52, whatever that number comes to per week for 8 weeks, the maximum wages you could actually have paid somebody. If someone was entitled to a bonus, that would be in addition to the $100,000. Compensation as far as life, health, and pension is in addition to the $100,000. So that's your compensation. The other part that you can reduce, obviously, is mortgage payments as far as your interest portion, or if you're not making mortgage payments, the rent that you pay, or if a separate entity you owns the building and you pay rent to that entity, you can do that as long as the rental agreement existed before February 15th. You can also obviously deduct your utilities, gas, water, oil, telephone, internet, and it references transportation. So you're going to take all of the money that you spent, fill out the application, and then you would submit it. If you have not met the 75% rule, you're going to have a reduction in your loan forgiveness. If you haven't brought back and restored your head count to the previous period that you defined when you applied under your loan application, you're going to have a reduction in your loan forgiveness. So consider whether or not you should be hiring people back by that June 30th date to restore your FTE headcount. And remember, amnesty period ends today, so if you have any concern, you can give the money back and they're not going to look. If you're under $2 million, you shouldn't be concerned about that at all because you have a safe harbor provision. That's all. Hope you enjoyed. If you have questions, some people have been messaging me through Facebook and messaging me through Instagram. Don't do that. The best way to reach out to me is through email. My email address is rob@roblevine.com. If you want to call me, the office number is 401-621-7000, and I'm at extension 134. Happy to answer any of your questions. I've answered a lot of questions, but I'm certainly delayed when it comes into Instagram or Facebook, and that's not something that I'm monitoring on a regular basis. My email, I monitor all the time. Thanks. Have a great day.